Welcome to my channel, Clark the Realtor. Don't forget to subscribe and let's get started.
How you guys doing? My name is Devon Clark. I'm a licensed realtor, and today we are going to be talking about the U.S. White House announces new actions on homeownership. So what I'm going to do as usual, if you guys don't know, is I'm going to go through some of this information and then I'm going to have my own opinions. And I always love if you want to comment below, like, share, dislike the video. It does not matter as long as we have some form of engagement going on over on this page, because guess what? Everyone's opinion is welcome here and we don't want to shy away from anything that you have to say. So again, remember to comment below, like, share the page, subscribe to the page if you can, and let's get into it. So we are going to talk about, so what I'm going to do too, because I have the computer behind me, so I might turn around sometimes just so I can actually go down the computer screen a little bit, and hopefully you guys can see it because I know it's kind of farther away, but this is the best way I could do it for right now. Hopefully soon I'll have it on the screen where it'll just be side by side next to me. But I just want to talk a little bit about what the Biden-Harris administration had proposed in regards to homeownership in America. And they proposed this October 16th. So I have my phone here. So what I'm going to do, instead of me having to keep turning around and read, I'm going to actually read a little bit of it. I'm not going to read all of it because some of it is just data that you guys can go and check it out and read it yourself if you want to kind of get into the nitty gritty of the data. But I just wanted to show you what was currently being proposed. This briefing came out October 16th, 2023. So it just came out again, October 16th, 2023. So if you're watching this video and you're in a different time, a different year per se, this was proposed in 2023. Again, it does not mean that it has gone into law yet because it still has to go through, of course, the Congress, the Senate, all those particular areas before anything gets kind of thrown into law. But it is something that the Biden and Harris administration have proposed in regards to a way of creating more home ownership for people who want to obtain that as a goal in the future. So let's kind of get into it, and then I'm going to give you, like I said, my kind of statements around it a little bit. And again, it's my opinion. Everything here is opinion based, even though I am a licensed realtor. So it's what makes sense to me as a realtor looking into the situation. Again, if you have any other questions or you want more information in regards to this, you can reach out to me. If not, you can always go talk to another licensed professional realtor, or you can go talk to a licensed loan officer. All right, anyway, enough of the kind of talk in the beginning. Let's get into this. So I'm going to read it right here from my phone again, like I said, and then I'll let you guys know my opinion. So it says, for millions of Americans, homeownership is a foundation for so many parts of their lives. For many, it is also their primary source of wealth. The Biden and Harris administration is committed to expanding access to homeownership, ensuring homeowners can afford to stay in their homes and make repairs they need, and that the wealth building potential of homeownership works equally for everyone. It says, today, the Biden-Harris administration is releasing new data showing major federal investment in homeownership and announcing key new actions to accelerate progress. So I'll turn around if you guys are reading with me so you can read it, sorry. So I'm down here to accelerate progress. Where am I at? Yeah, right there. Accelerate progress. It says these actions make important strides, but given the lack of homes on the market and current interest rates, to truly ensure homeownership is accessible to all households, we need Congress to act. That is why President Biden proposed a $16 billion for the neighborhood homes tax credit. He said, which would result in more than 400,000 homes built or rehabilitated, creating a pathway for more families to buy a home and start building wealth. Sorry, guys, I'm literally in my office and I'm in the city, so you hear sirens and everything. So sorry if I'm getting choppy with the words. I'm getting distracted by these sirens going down the street. Anyway, creating a pathway for more families to buy a home and start building wealth. The president has also proposed a $10 billion down payment assistance program that would ensure first-time home buyers whose parents do not own a home can access homeownership alongside a $10 million down payment assistance pilot to expand homeownership opportunities for first generation and low wealth first-time home buyers. So as I said, I'm gonna turn around if you guys want to scroll down and read it. You can also go to White House .gov, and you can click on press release. Go to the briefing room. It's called the briefing room. Click on statements and press releases, and you can find this one. This was October 16th. They came out with this proposal, this press release, in which they're proposing for Congress to kind of act on and try to pass this bill in regards to possibly helping future home buyers buy in the United States of America. So let's first understand where it says the president has also proposed a $10 billion down payment assistance program that would ensure first-time homebuyers whose parents do not own a home can access home ownership. So that's one of the keys, right? So they're saying they're trying to propose a $10 billion down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers whose parents don't own a home. They're basically saying, okay, your parent cannot own a home in order for you to get this particular down payment assistance program if it was to pass the Congress in regards to legislation. Your parents cannot own a home for you to qualify for this $10 billion down payment assistance program situation. But then also, you have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify as well, meaning that if you guys don't know what a first-time home buyer is, let's click right here, and I'm going to read it from this way. So just to let you guys know, it says a first-time home buyer is a home buyer who hasn't owned the home they lived in within the most recent 3 years. So that means you cannot own a home the last 3 years of you trying to buy a home. And in regards to this down payment assistance program, most people will say, well, okay, Devon, I don't understand why you're telling me what a first-time home buyer is, because if I don't own a home and my parents never owned a home, I will be a first-time home buyer because I don't own a home. And yes, that is basically what you are. You're a first-time home buyer. However, I just wanted to reiterate this for somebody who maybe their parent never bought a home, but maybe they bought a home and they're like, well, would I qualify for this $10 billion down payment assistance program? So I just want to reiterate what a first-time home buyer is. And most of you guys probably already know this already, especially if you did buy a home before. Your realtor or your lender probably pointed that out to you if you went to try to get an FHA loan. So, and then they have another one where it says, whose parents do not own a home can access home ownership alongside a $100 million down payment assistance pilot to expand home ownership opportunities for first generation and low wealth first time buyers. So now they're saying that they want to do a pilot in which it'll be for, again, first generation buyers. So again, you will be the first person who ever bought in your family. And then also it says, or low wealth first time home buyer. So someone who might not have the income needed to quote unquote buy a house, they would then have this program for those low wealth income buyers, meaning that you would have to be probably in it'll probably cap the income level, right? It'll probably cap the income level as how much you can make per year. It'll probably cap say if you're in an area and the average income in that area of the average person that lives in that area makes $50,000 a year and you make $100,000 a year, you probably would not qualify to live in that area. You probably would not meet those guidelines in regards to the down payment assistance program in that area. So they probably might cap it along that way too. I'm not sure. These are all hypotheticals. Do not take my word as God, because I'm just pointing out hypotheticals where it's like if you're in a certain area and you make more than that average person or the average medium income, that's what it is, the AMI, the average medium income in that area, you probably won't qualify for the down payment assistance program in that area. However, if you're in another area where the average medium income in that area might be $300,000 a year and you make $70,000, you might qualify for the down payment assistance program in that area. But again, everything is going to be, kind of laid out in regards to the down payment assistance program if this was to pass Congress. But let me kind of break this down a little bit too. So this is their whole action in regards to trying to make for, as it says at the top of this right here, as it says on the top of this screen right here, it says, White House announces new actions on home ownership. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to create a new action towards hopefully home ownership for Americans. My first two things would be like, well, one, the affordability of the houses are too expensive nowadays. We know because of the pandemic And because of those low interest rates that were historically low and the 2%, so many people bought and sold things, and it caused the price, the home purchases to go up because it was a limited amount of inventory already on the market, and then you had so many people out there trying to buy and sell and do all this stuff. So it just created a whole situation where inventory being low, it allowed the purchase prices of the houses to kind of skyrocket. And then on top of that, the other thing that's not keeping up is our income. No one is getting a raise per se, or their income is not fluctuating up. It's kind of staying steady. So we need those two things is what needs to be addressed, but it's not going to be addressed because unfortunately the government has no say of how a person can price their house. So because of that, the way in which houses are usually priced, if you guys don't know, is usually priced by a comparative market analysis, which is called a CMA. So your realtor might have told you like, hey, I'm going to do a CMA on your house. If you're trying to help you sell your house, hey, I'm going to go do a CMA on your house. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and I'm going to run a comparable market analysis in regards to other properties similar to your properties that might have sold within the last 3 months, 6 months, or if they can't really find something, they might pull it back a year, or they'll try to go out. Usually when you do a CMA, the appraiser, of course, they'll come out and they'll do their own official appraisal situation in regards to their CMA per se. But it'll usually start within your subdivision. So your realtor will look first at comparables in your subdivision and say, okay, this house is similar to your house, blah, blah, blah. They'll look at possibly renovations in your house, any updates, any remodels, compare it that way as well. But then you'll also, and if you can't find anything within a certain time frame, say 3 months, 6 months, or maybe a year, they'll kind of go outside the subdivision and start look a mile away or 2 miles away to kind of find something that's more comparable to your property. So that way they can give you a fair evaluation of how much your house should possibly sell for, what might be a great price point to put on your house in order for you, to sell the house and not have it sit so long on the market where it's a competitive price per se. It keeps up with the market. And so that's something that the government can't really control, because if every house in your subdivision just decides to sell at $800,000, we're looking at those comparables. And so the government can't say like, hey, you can't sell your house for $800,000. You got to keep it to $200,000 because we got to make it affordable for the average American. They can't do that. So what they're doing currently right now, if you guys don't know, again, we're in 2020, they are, they're raising interest rates and they're doing other things to kind of hopefully suppress some of the housing prices. And that way people will have to maybe drop their house because the interest rates are higher, which makes for a higher mortgage per month. They're like, okay, let's kind of drop stuff down. And then you have lenders doing different things or whatever. Anyway, before I go on a tangent around that, I'm just trying to kind of round it up in regards to this whole situation with the government's issuing in regards to this down payment assistance program. So we kind of broke down what they're issuing this down payment assistance program for. Again, I'm gonna reiterate it one more time. It says the president has proposed a $10 billion assistance program that would ensure first-time home buyers whose parents do not own a home can access home ownership. So you got to be a first-time home buyer. Again, your parent cannot own a home. So your parent can't own a home, and you have to be a first-time home buyer. And it says alongside a $100 million down payment assistance pilot to expand home ownership opportunities for first generation, which we stated already, or to low wealth first-time home buyers. And that's where I kind of went on that whole tangent in regards to the price point of the house. Let me put this on the screen so you guys can see it yourself. And that's when I kind of went on a whole tangent in regards to the price points of the house, because it's like, if you're a low wealth first-time home buyer, you don't have the money per se to actually go into home ownership. That's the reason why a lot of people now, if they want to buy, because everybody doesn't want to buy, so we don't want to force people into buying property. But that's why the people that want to buy, a lot of them are sitting on the sidelines and they're not buying because they don't have either the money saved or they don't have the monthly income to pay the mortgage. Once you pay your mortgage, is all the different things, right? It's principal and interest on the loan. You have your taxes, you have your homeowner insurance, you might have PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, and then you might have an HOA depending on where you're at. In Georgia, a lot of these subdivisions have HOAs, And so you have all these things that kind of factor into your monthly mortgage fees, right? And so it's like, if I'm a low wealth first time home buyer, as they're saying it, really what they're trying to say is low income, but they're saying low wealth. If I'm a low wealth first time home buyer, how can I afford said purchase price at this price point and then pay this monthly mortgage? It's barely, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's kind of hard, right? So my thing is like, they're trying to find other ways to kind of get people into home ownership. However, the key factors we really need to touch on is the affordability. And because we can't really touch on the affordability, because like I said, a lot of the houses are based off of comparables as far as when they try to sell their house, when people try to sell their house. So now we have to then touch on the income, right? We have to say like, are we going to raise people's salaries? Are we going to allow them to make more money? So that's the next thing we have to touch on. And so when it comes to this particular proposal, it's okay, but is it really helping per se? I don't think so. I don't think it'll help. It'll give you, money to be able to put on your down payment to buy a house. It'll give you money to be able to maybe possibly pay some closing costs when you go to the closing table to buy the house, but it's not paying your monthly mortgage every month. So if you're getting into this property and you only make a certain amount of money, and let's just say, things happen all the time. Let's just say after the first year you lose your job, or let's just say your job decides to demote you and you're the only one paying that particular mortgage. If you can't go out and find another job, or if you're already working 2 to 3 jobs to already support your monthly mortgage payment, it's not really doing that particular person a service, right? It's great to be able to have these programs per se to get you in the door, but we need programs to keep people in their homes. And again, the affordability, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to say if home prices will drop. We see some of them, we see some people dropping their home prices right now. We see some builders dropping some home prices, just try to move the inventory per se. But this is how I equate it, right? I tell people in the 90s when I was growing up, gas was like 90 cents. When my dad was growing up in the 50s and the 60s and all that stuff, gas, I'm not sure how much it was. I'm just going to make up a fictitious number. I'm going to say maybe gas is 50 cents. I don't know. This is just fictitious. You guys can tell me below how much gas was if you were born in those times and you was getting gas. But in the 90s, it was 98 cents. It kind of hovered around like 90 cent, 98 cent, maybe it might push $1 every now and then. And now in 2023, depending on where you're at, I'm in Georgia right now. The gas is $3 and something a gallon. California might be $5, $6, $7. Wherever you at might be $2 per se. And we see that the gas, as it went up, it's fluctuated down a little bit, but it's never gone all the way back down to $1. So that's what I'm trying to tell people in regards to home ownership. Prices have fluctuated up, but they're not going to go back down to how they were in, let's just say 2025, where you can come to Georgia and maybe get a house for $50,000 or a little lower, depending on what type of house you were buying, what area you were buying in. It's never going to go back down to those prices. So that's the thing in regards to what the government's trying to implement, this home down payment assistance program situation for home buyers. However, the biggest thing, like I said, is the affordability of the homes. Unfortunately, the homes are not going to go down that low. So we have to look at the income in which people make. We have to look at the income. So let's get in a little bit into these down payment assistance program situation, and then I'm going to head up out of here. I just wanted to give you guys some information in regards to what the government had, with the Biden and Harris administration had kind of proposed in a press release. Sorry if I keep looking out over this way. There's so much going on outside this window in my office because people are looking in here like, what is he doing? But all right, so down payment assistance programs. I have been fortunate enough to work with clients who have utilized down payment assistance programs. And I'm only going to talk from an experience that I had in regards to down payment assistance program from one particular experience. So if that buyer is watching this video, she knows who she is. And this was one that didn't pan out the way we wanted it to pan out. However, I think it might have panned out actually better in her best interest. But nonetheless, sometimes what happens with down payment assistance programs, they want you to come in, they want you to read their qualifications. They're like, okay, do you hit these points, do you hit these points? Okay, great. You hit these points, wonderful. Now you might have to go and take a particular class or a program to be able to get certified per se, to say you took this program and you meet all the qualifications, and we are going to allow for you to get some type of down payment assistance program, some type of down payment assistance, to help you with the purchase of your house. And then you go, you search for your house. Let's just say 7 months later, you find your house, you're ready to close, you get to the closing table, and then the down payment assistance program say, unfortunately, we can't give you no money. You're like, what happened? They might be like, we don't have no more money. So if you guys don't know, down payment assistance programs, most of them are government funded. And what happens is that they pour money into these programs. Well, they pour money or allocate money, whatever you want to say, into these programs, and there's a certain amount. So after it's all used up, let's say they poured in the money the 1st of January of 2023, all these people go out and buy homes, they all utilize down payment assistance program. By July of 2023, all the money's gone, and you get to the closing table August 2023, and you're like, I know that they had promised me that I'm getting $12,000 in down payment assistance to help me with down payment costs and also closing costs, and I'm waiting for it to come through. And then on that day, you're at the closing table, they'll be like, well, we don't no longer have no more money. The funds have been all dried up for the year, and we cannot give you said money to close. This is what happens sometimes in down payment assistance programs. So those are questions you should probably ask the program. Hey, do you think if I take this course now and I'm not ready to buy to this amount of time, how long am I privy to have this particular down payment assistance money? Also, if I don't close until later on in the year, will there be any funds left in this program for me to utilize towards my closing costs and my down payment and buying a house? And in our particular situation, me and this young lady, she was an educator, and what happened is they had promised that she would be able to get the down payment assistance program. We had already told, the lender told this particular down payment assistance program that she was a contracted educator. Her contract was up at a certain period of time. However, she was also leaving for maternity leave, and in Georgia, they get out in May. And so we didn't close on this house until June. And so she was already out or whatever. She was on her maternity leave as well. So she wasn't, quote unquote, getting paid per se, right? And we had talked to this down payment assistance program. The lender had talked to them. They said X, Y, and Z. However, she can still afford the monthly payments. Will she qualify for this down payment assistance money when it comes to closing? They were like, yeah. We'll give it to her. We come to the closing table, and they're like, no, we're not giving her this money to close because she doesn't have a job per se, and we don't want to give her any money to put her in a house or, quote unquote, as they would say, a situation where she can't afford to pay her mortgage. And so she did not qualify for she didn't get the down payment assistance. So it's different things that can happen in down payment assistance programs. So you guys got to really kind of talk to the people that's running the program, understand the program. Sometimes these programs, you think you're getting free money, they might add that down payment onto the end of the loan. They might add it possibly in the loan. I'm not sure if they're doing that, but they might add it in the loan. They might have it on terms where it's like when you go to sell the house, you have to pay back the down payment assistance program. So it's almost like a lien against your house per se. And so it's so many different things in which down payment assistance. So I tell people, be clear of what of down payment assistance, understand how it's running, understand the program, understand the tactics, and ask questions around it. Because you don't want to get to the closing table and not be able to have your down payment assistance help you close per se. You don't want to get to the closing table and then close with the down payment assistance program and realize that you cannot afford the monthly mortgages per se after a certain amount of time because of life experiences. Things happen in life, right? So this thing that the government is proposing is interesting, like I said, in regards to trying to get this down payment assistance program going for first generation home buyers whose parents have never owned a home themselves, or low income per se home buyers. However, the biggest thing we really need is a raise in income. And like I said, the housing situation, I'm not sure where it's gonna go. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you guys, but I'm pretty sure even with prices going down, I'm not sure they're gonna ever go down to where they were in 2005 or 2001. Well, they will never go that low again unless we have an economical situation where all of a sudden everybody's just unemployed, have no job, and can't afford anything, and they have to sell off stuff just to stay afloat. But other than that, I'm not sure where that home ownership, as far as that price point, for the home is going to go in regards to people that are, lower income and want to buy a house, but they can't really afford it due to the prices of the house. So this proposal is interesting. Is it really going to help us in this situation in regards to home ownership? Not really. Will it be an avenue for people that are first-time home buyers to be able to have money to put down for possible down payments and closing costs when buying a house? Yes. However, I always tell people too, it's always great to have savings on the side, even if you're doing a down payment assistance program, because like in my situation that I just explained earlier, they didn't give my buyer the down payment assistance money, which I actually look at it as a good thing. I'm glad because we still at the lender and myself, we the house had appraised higher than what we were going in the offer for, and so what we did is we just the lender asked the buyer and if she was okay with this, and she said she was. The appraisal came back higher, and so we threw the closing cost and the down payment into the that appraisal amount, and so she bought it at the appraisal amount, which means that she doesn't have that per se that equity no more because she utilized that to buy the house. However, she was able to get into the house, and she only brought about $200 to the closing table, which is good in the sense of trying to close on the property. However, it sucks in regards to down payment assistance not being able to give her that money. However, it kind of worked out on a long end because I believe her down payment assistance program is when she goes to sell within a certain time, it becomes if she sells within a certain time, it becomes a thing where you have to pay a certain amounts back. So it's like it has it's like different amounts. Like if you sell it within this amount of time, you have to pay 5,000. If you sell it amount of time, you pay 10,000 or whatever, how much they gave you on down payment assistance. So it actually was a good thing in regards to her because she don't have to pay that back. She don't have to worry about that. She has a great mortgage. It's literally $1,000 something a month. She just bought in 2023. So again, it depends on where you're buying in real estate. That's why I say real estate is local to your market, right? So we still was able to get her into a great space where she's actually paying less for her mortgage than renting. However, there is a difference in renting and buying, right? We can get into those differences in another video if you guys are interested. But anyway, that was what I wanted to say in regards to this U.S. housing brief announcement that was proposed on October 16th to Congress. Again, my name is Devon Clark. I am a national licensed realtor. I am a local realtor in the state of Georgia. If you ever need any assistance in regards to buying or selling in Georgia, just reach out to me. If you are looking outside of Georgia in a different state or even in a different country, you can also reach out to me as well. I can refer you to another realtor within your state and also within your city or in your country. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the ones who currently have subscribed, who have watched the videos. If you don't know, on this channel, I do a lot of housing tours. However, I will be doing more content in regards to me talking if you guys are okay with that. And I hope to see you back in this channel. Put any questions, any comments, any concerns down below. Also, if you want to reach me outside of this YouTube channel, my email will be below as well. And I hope to see you guys back for the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe.